Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to have a little fun. We are going to race a few saws. I just buttoned up the modifications on this 543 XP. We done machine work, port work. We even rebuilt the carburetor on it. It was a non-runner when I got it here, but the owner of that saw said he would really like to see how it stacks up against my ported Husqvarna 440. I kind of know how the outcome's going to be. The wood I'm cutting in is really dense. It's like cutting into a piece of cement, to be honest with you, but going to be a good test. There is another saw that we're probably going to throw in the mix, but it's not going to be very scientific because it runs a different bar and chain setup, and it's just for fun, guys. Once we run both of these, the little 42cc Black & Decker, we're going to run it against the winner, which I'm pretty sure is going to be this 543 XP. You can really lean on that saw. My little 440, I've had that saw since it was new, 2016 model, bought it March of 2016. We had just gotten back into burning firewood again, and honestly all I had here was a Poland Wild Thing, which is sitting in that box torn apart for a complete rebuild, and I'm going to do a removable head on that, a big carburetor. It's going to be a methanol build. It's just one of those long-term projects, but we'll get to it one of these days, I guess. But got all the parts rounded up for that. But what we're gonna do, I've got a piece of hickory in my log splitter right now. I've done a fresh touch up on the chain, which the chain, it's a 16-inch 325 to Samira bar loop of Archer chain. So I've warmed this saw up in another piece of wood because this is getting short, and I'd really like to at least make one cut with the Black & Decker. So let's give it a go. Just self-feed on the chain. I'm not pushing or dogging. Just the saw doing its thing. Alrighty guys, if we have to pick a winner, I would say the 543 XP is going to be it. It never hung up, never slowed down, never missed a beat. For what that is, that's a badass little saw. Really like it, but will I buy one? Who's to say what I'd do in the future, but as of right now, don't really need one. Second runner up to it would be the Black & Decker. Again, that is not a fair comparison. We're running 3/8 low pro. That's an Oregon. I think it's a VersaCut chain, but it does have my grind on it. All three saws, stupid aggressive chain. I had that Archer Lupa 325 set up, really aggressive. I wanted the saws to self-feed through that wood. The chain done its job, but it takes, you guys that sharpen and grind, you know it takes practice to get one to pull in really hard wood. But yeah, for the money on the Black & Decker, you cannot beat that. But surprisingly, the 440, be looking around, there ain't much difference in price between a 440 and a 543. Buy the 543 XP. I don't know how long they'll last as far longevity, but that's the same deal with any of them. Maintenance is key, but I don't think the Black & Decker is 100% clone of that. Don't quote me on that, I could be wrong. Oil tank in the front on this saw, it has a smaller muffler. This saw has that big long muffler in the front, has the oil tank back here in the handle. Layout on the saws are similar though. Purge bulb both on the right side of the saw, choke on the right side. Both super simple designs, super easy to modify. This saw has zero machine work. Seemed like it and the Craftsman both. The transfers were opening really late. Squish was like between 25 and 30 thou, if I remember correctly. So wasn't trying to build an all-out racer, so I just sent it with just base gasket delete. But that saw's no slouch. It was hitting a knot right when it would go in, and that chain's super hungry. But once it went to pulling, I don't know that there was a lot of difference in power between that one and that one. This one would win as far as torque, but this saw will rev higher due to not having a limited coil on it. But anyway guys, this stuff like this is really fun. It just, like I figured, it kicked the snot out of my little 440. If we were in like 8 inches of some kind of pulp wood, you know, they might not be that big of a difference. But that machine work, guys, it's where it's at, and that shows it. Similar displacement. That 440 is a front fed transfer design. It's a clamshell, but kind of like comparing apples to oranges, I guess. But the pro level saw that you can do the machine work on, you're generally going to make more power, or at least in my experience. But anyway guys, I'm quit running my mouth. For the money, again, you can't beat that Black & Decker. Anyway, y'all have a good one.